How's it going, everybody? So we have a fun review today as we're talking Mickey 17. Finally, after so many different delays from Warner Brothers to this point, we're actually getting this movie released. We've been waiting patiently for quite a long time. While I've adored the majority of Bong Joon-ho's filmography, Parasite was an incredible masterpiece, and it's kind of surreal to me that it's been 6 years now since that came out in theaters back in 2019. Time is really just slipping through my fingers every single day. Mickey 17, who also is known as an expendable, a disposable crew member selected for dangerous tasks because he can be renewed if his body is selected, goes on a dangerous journey to colonize an ice planet. Gotta say, for this being the follow-up to Parasite, the film that won Best Picture amongst other several Oscars at the Academy Awards, I find it pretty admirable that Bong Joon-ho decided to spend a lot of his Oscar capital on quite the odd, wild sci-fi adventure you wouldn't exactly expect would be coming from a major studio like Warner Brothers. After seeing the film, I guess I can kind of understand why Warner Brothers didn't know exactly what to do with this movie. Not helped out at all by the budget reported for the movie being around the $100 to $150 million range. Like I said, Bong Joon-ho used a ton of capital winning all of those Oscars. The all-around zany premise of the film alone, I would argue, makes Mickey 17 an interesting watch. The world-building aspects especially were incredibly fascinating. Learning a lot more about the clones and how they're used for labor. I mean, they're called expendables, so they make it very clear showcasing the many ways that they're killed, and then they just make another one. Once the story in Mickey 17 gets rolling, though, there's a lot of interesting depth behind Mickey 17 and 18's journey of discovery, tackling a lot of the morality of what they're all wrapped up in, while fighting back against the leaders who rule the colony. That's on top of the satire that is running rampant all throughout Mickey 17's story. The way that it's used in the film is very clever and hilarious. Part of me does worry if the general audiences will struggle with certain elements of that dark comedy, how it mixes with the film's commentary on the climate of the world. At least out of all of the American films Bong Joon-ho has directed, the messaging of what he's trying to get across with this adaptation, the lengths some people will go to try and stay afloat in a world overrun by capitalism, is made the most clear. By now, at this point, I continue to be more and more impressed every time Robert Pattinson is in a film. Here in Mickey 17, he flexes a massive amount of range and charisma with the different Mickey clones. The way in which he manages to give these different clones of Mickey various distinct quirks to distinguish their personalities from one another with his performance is brilliantly done. The cherry on top of his performance, though, for me at least, we get to add another absurd accent to Robert Pattinson's eclectic repertoire. I don't know what Robert Pattinson decided to base his accent on in Mickey 17, but for me, it sounded a lot like Steve Buscemi. Robert Pattinson for sure shines the most out of the cast, but all of the cast was pretty great, particularly Toni Collette, and even Mark Ruffalo, who continues to play a lot of different eclectic characters, and this is probably the most eccentric one I've seen him play outside of maybe his character in Poor Things not too long ago. Like usual, when you go into a Bong Joon-ho film, part of what makes each of his films impactful and intriguing is the commentary that he brings to the table with every film. Here in Mickey 17, he's touching upon stuff like consumerism, corruption, along with similar messaging that we've seen him have in other movies, whether that be Parasite, Okja, Snowpiercer, in regards to capitalism being one of the major factors to a lot of evil in the world. The corporate greed of the people in this world, bleeding people and resources dry until there's basically nothing left. Like, Robert Pattinson signs up to be an expendable to escape the debts that he has on Earth. As I said earlier, we see Mickey die in several different ways. One of them, Steven Yeun, just doesn't really care to try and save him because they're just gonna make another one. How Bong Joon-ho chooses to tackle those themes, though, through this lens in particular, offers a fascinating analysis of a potential future through the symbolism behind everything. Plus, the movie at certain times does get heavy-handed with the political messaging. I fully guarantee there's going to be some feathers ruffled once more people are aware of what happens in the movie. All I'll say is there's a movement in the movie where the people in that movement wear red gear on their head with political slogans across them. If that correlation isn't obvious enough to make on its own, Mark Ruffalo's character very much feels like a combination of Elon Musk and the President of the United States as far as his backstory and personality in the movie. While Mickey 17 presents a lot of engaging elements throughout the film, I did feel like the film overall is a tad uneven in certain parts, some of which I for sure would attribute to the fact that the movie is a tad too long, clocking in at a runtime of over 2 hours and 17 minutes. I also just feel like the third act of the movie, where things kind of come together, it left me fairly mixed by its conclusion. The build up towards the last act is enjoyable, and I would still say for the most part they stuck the landing of the ending. It's hard to say without giving away what the ending is, but the conclusion of everything everything left me fairly mixed. I don't know if it's the exact same in the book this is based on or not. I know they changed some things from the book besides the fact that it's, you know, the book was called Mickey 7 and now it's Mickey 17. I just don't know what exactly those changes were and if there are changes at all either, because I have not read it. Overall, Mickey 17 is yet another fun adventure from Bong Joon-ho. As far as sci-fi adventures are concerned, it offers up a unique journey with a very strong narrative and a through line of commentary that's becoming more of a reality day by day. I have my reservations if the movie will be a success as far as financially, and that budget is just alone pretty insane to me. I don't know necessarily if it's going to have a general audience appeal. Regardless, however, I am very excited for everyone to check it out and see what you think of Mickey 17. Once you get a chance to check it out though in theaters, make sure you share your thoughts down below. What'd you think of the film? Did you like the film? Did you not like the film? Thank you guys, as always, for checking out videos. I always do appreciate it. You should like on the video and also subscribe to the channel to update reviews, reactions, unboxings, and more. Until the next time, I'll see you guys later.